Like Dane DeHaan being Hollywood's discount Leonardo DiCaprio, this is The Discriminating Gamer. Let's jump right into it. Today we're going to take a look at Star Wars Armada, the Corellian campaign from Fantasy Flight Games. Star Wars Armada, the Corellian campaign from Fantasy Flight Games, is a new way to play a game of Star Wars Armada. Now, I'm not going to get into every rule of this campaign. Obviously, it's a campaign. It's going to be several games of Star Wars Armada that are kind of tied into this narrative about the battle for the Corellian sector. But there are a few things this game plays. You can play with 2 players, you can play with up to 6 players. Essentially, you have teams, you have a rebel team, you have an imperial team. You're going to do drafting of your ships, you're going to get your fleets, rather, both your ships and your squadrons. You do 400-point fleets each. They each have to have a commander. They're allowed to have 1 upgrade on each ship. Now, this campaign expansion comes with a map of the Corellian sector, stickers to place on it, new objective cards, new tokens, and some new characters for your squadrons, and squadron cards as well. Now, what you're going to do is, first of all, when you have selected the teams, you've selected, again, whether you're going to play a team of 2, a team of 3, or however you're going to do it. You look at the map, and the Imperial player is going to choose some places for his Imperial bases to be, and the Rebel player will choose places for Rebel presence to be. A presence will either be an outpost, which is really nothing terribly important, or it will be a Rebel base. Now, these are important because some of the conditions, some of the objective cards are going to deal very heavily with these Rebel bases and are going to provide certain defense tokens and defense initiatives for the defending player. Now, when you engage in battle, essentially it's going to play out just like a game of Star Wars Armada. Of course, as I say, though, you may have different objective cards that will be used during that game. You can look on the map. Some of the places are going to say how many objective cards you can choose from, or they'll say things like you must use, say, the asteroids objective card here. There's going to be all sorts of things like that in the game. So my friends and I started a campaign. We're only a few games into it. But essentially how it done is we took a night, we sat down, we built our fleets, we looked at all of the ships, all of the squadrons, we went ahead on our fleet rosters, we made our decisions about which fleets we were going to command, and we also kind of just went over the rules, how we were going to play the game. Then what we have done since is, of course, engaged in, we kind of paired off for some of these actual games, these actual battles for the Corellian sector. And I got to tell you, this is very interesting. It's a very fun new way to play Star Wars Armada. I love Star Wars Armada. Star Wars Armada is a fantastic game. Probably my favorite miniatures game. I love it more than Star Wars X-Wing, which I don't play a lot anymore, which is sad because I love Star Wars X-Wing, but Armada to me is just so much more, there's so much more meat to it. It's so much more strategic in so many ways, and I really love it. But what's cool here is when you have ships that are destroyed in a battle, they come back in the next battle scarred, essentially damaged, and then if they're destroyed again, they are out of the game. And so, consequently, when you play these battles and you lose a squadron, you lose a ship, there's this sense of consequence to it. There's this sense that, if I lose these ships, it's not just going to let me down in this one little game I'm playing, but the overall story, the overall narrative will suffer. As I say, we've only played a few games. There is a thing toward the end of the campaign to play kind of an all-out battle with all of the teams, bringing all of their ships, and that sounds like a monster of a game. I don't know if we'll get there. We'll see. But all I know is right now I'm having a tremendous amount of fun with Star Wars Armada, the Corellian campaign expansion. It's truly a fun and interesting new way to play the game, and I really like it. So, of course, if you are a fan of Star Wars Armada and you think you can get the people together and get your schedules to work with it, and the game even has a thing in there that says, if people can substitute and you can do things, we have alternates on our game. If all those things apply to you, go ahead and buy this game. You're going to love it. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on More Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer. And do you remember that scene at the end of Rogue One when Darth Vader was just tearing through those rebel troopers on the ship? That was awesome.
Please somebody help me on my feet again. And I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
That's right! I'm back! And I'm furious! Well, more furious than the second edition. I'm like 3 times as much. Well, actually, probably just 1 time more, because I was furious in the first one and furiouser in the second one. But now I'm furiousest in the third edition. Well, you kind of get the point. I'm ticked.